Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. First of all, for those of you following my journey around Indonesia, I really want to apologize for once again being late with my episodes. Unfortunately, it's life. I've been having some big problems with my computer, and I haven't been able to edit my videos as smoothly as I used to. But no worries, I've just placed an order on a brand new computer, so my problems should be over soon. We should be back on track very, very soon. All right, so today, instead of an episode on my grand trip around Indonesia, I want to talk about something which many people I met along the way asked me about: age. So, for some reasons, most riders I meet out here tend to be much younger than I am. And a lot of them are shocked to see an old geezer like me just riding and solo camping around. I'm not sure this is true for every country, but here in Indonesia, the average age on the road seems to be around between 25 and 50 years old. So here is the question: am I too old to still be chasing that wind in my hair? Or for you, those who still have hair? Or to put it more simply, how old is too old to tour on a motorcycle? I am 59. Some might say I'm becoming kind of a seasoned rider now. I've been riding my motorcycle. I've been on two wheels for about 25 years now, probably longer than some people out there have been alive, yeah? And I remember a time when, here in Indonesia anyways, helmets were kind of optional. And you know, when you talked about safety gear, that meant wearing closed shoes instead of flip-flops. Well, back then, there weren't as many people touring the world, or at least if there were, nobody really knew about them because, well, we didn't have YouTube or social media or even influencers for that matter. If you wanted to show off your adventures, you had to rely on good old, cameras, taking pictures the old-fashioned way with films, or even writing a book like Ted Simon did in the 70s. You know, over the last few years, I've been living a great life, traveling around Indonesia and hanging out with friends who are, for the most part, much younger than I am. As a result of that, I guess I just never noticed old age creeping in on me. My joints tend to hurt a bit more, and it takes me a little bit longer to recover when I hurt myself. But, in fact, the last time I climbed a mountain, I didn't make it past the first base camp, and I limped all the way back down with a knee the size of a basketball. So, yeah, I should have known. But still, I never thought of myself as past the threshold into old age. Until about 6 months ago, I watched a video on pensions, and some guy was talking about, the good age to get ready for your pension, and mentioned my age back then, which was 58. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is me, pension already. So it kind of took me by surprise. It kind of got me thinking, am I getting old, or how can I stop this madness? What should I do? Is there more beer in the fridge? I don't know. I kind of got on a panic mode there. Well, I guess we can only hide for so long, right? Old age is only going to catch up with us at some point. But the question is, what are we going to do about it? Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one thing to do. It's to ride on. But is that for everyone? Let's talk about this for a while. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and probably the first thing on everybody's mind around here: health. Long distance touring can be challenging, I'd say. Let's just say finding a bathroom that's not a bush becomes a major life achievement. And where I've been touring, even in many hotels, all I can hope for is a squat toilet. That never used to be an issue, but since I've had my hip replacement a few years back, I have to admit that I enjoy a good sit while doing my business. That's a fact, my friends. None of us over the age of 50 is the latest model anymore. And we've all got our little things. For some of us, it's meds that have to be taken regularly. Others have chronic pains in their bones or elsewhere. Some might even have high cholesterol or bad hearts, to name a few. So you might ask, Is it safe to head off on a journey on two wheels for any extended period of time? Only you can answer that question for yourself. But as far as I'm concerned, in so many ways, this is what actually keeps me young. You see, after my accident a few years back, I had to get that hip replacement I was talking about earlier. And it took me a while to get back on the bike. But I knew that if I didn't, that would be it. It would be the end of that. So even as I was still kind of limping around with one leg longer than the other, I got on the bike and I set off on this journey around Indonesia. Keeping in mind the one thing my disapproving doctor said before I left: don't fall. She said that at this point, any fall could seriously affect my recovery. So I was thinking about that. Well, to make a long story short, I rode my own ride. I was very careful, and I took my time. Heck, I don't think my riding average speed was ever over 50 kilometers per hour. But it didn't matter, because I was out there doing it. In fact, all this getting on and off the bike and pitching and packing my tent and squatting here and there as you do when you camp, it actually sped up my recovery as far as I can tell. There were even times I couldn't feel any pain in my hip at all. It could have been all that extra exercise or maybe vitamin D from the sun, I don't know. But what I think is, I was so busy having fun and enjoying life that I forgot about my hip, about my limp, about the pain, about any problems I might have had. That's not to say it's all fun and games and easy peasy. I mean, I still struggle when I try to put on my raincoat, for instance. I was actually taking off my rain trousers at some point and I got stuck in my boot and I could feel my hip moving inside and almost fainted. So, there's still some issues. But I realized that some things do change as we age. Picking up a drop bike, for example, maybe it's not what it used to be. It used to be a one-man job. Now you might need all the help you can get, or even a tow truck in some cases. Also, let's not forget about the wear and tear on the body. Arthritis in the hands could be a problem. Slight decline in vision and hearing. All these things, they creep up on you. Back pain. And let's be real. My night vision, it's not what it used to be. But that doesn't mean I have to stop riding, I just have to adapt. Like in my case, I'd rather not be riding in the dark or in the rain. I'm not a huge fan of putting the rain gear on and fogged up glasses and damn gear. It's not my idea of a good time, Sometimes I have to do it, but I try hard to avoid whenever possible. Here's the thing though. Riding keeps you young. It forces you to stay active, to challenge yourself, to embrace the unexpected. Your brain stays active, analyzing the road ahead and potential obstacles. Your body is active, keeping your balance on the bike and moving along with the road. Your mind stops fussing about useless stuff and focuses on the moment, on right now, and what's directly in front of you. That's the stuff of life, my friends. And let me tell you, nothing wakes you up like realizing that that steep gravel downhill road you're on has got a sharp turn at the bottom and there's no railing to stop you from flying off the cliff. That wakes you up. I have to admit though, some of the roads I've been on, they've been way above my ability. And I wouldn't do it again, for sure. But wow! After thrills like these, I sure felt alive and not a year older than the 17-year-old realizing halfway down the hill on his bicycle that there's no brakes. It's really cool. That sense of youth and freedom and invincibility. It's amazing. And that brings me to my next point. Mental health. Now, I've read loads of stuff about mental health benefits of going on a motorcycle trip. It's a chance to disconnect from the daily grind, to rediscover your sense of adventure, to spend time with friends if you like to ride with mates, Plus, this newfound Zen mindfulness you might get from riding, it could probably save your marriage, I sure wish I'd had these brief escape moments in my life during my first 2 marriages. But instead of that, I was an angry prick grumbling about everything, Listen, it's no secret that mental health creates many challenges like depression and anxiety for mostly older men. Statistics show that many men feel a sense of loss of purpose after retirement. That might lead to feelings of isolation, inadequacy, you know? You don't feel like you're quite yourself. But writing, it gives you a sense of purpose, a connection to something bigger than yourself. The open road, the freedom, the camaraderie, you know, with other writers, it gives you a sense of well-being and control. And that's hard to find anywhere else, you know? Look, I'm realizing I'm no spring chicken anymore. I've got a few more bruises and scars and boo-boos on me than I used to. But this trip, this grand tour of Indonesia that I'm on, it's been a reminder that life is an adventure, not a destination. It's about pushing your limits, embracing the unknown, enjoying the ride, you know? Now, if you choose to get out there and don't feel too confident about it, here are a few things you might want to consider. First, choosing the right bike is a key there. Some of you might prefer something big and comfortable, maybe with a lower seat, you know, maybe even some little features like cruise control and heated handles. That's all up to you. Other people prefer maybe to have something smaller, something smoother, something that's easier to pick up if you drop it, you know. Personally, that's what I prefer. It opens a few options that you wouldn't have on a bigger bike. But there's no right or wrong here. In the end, it's whatever will get you out there on the road. And let me just say, by the way, a lot of people out here might have a big fat pension and all this, but a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck still. And you know what? If that's your case, a cheaper, smaller bike is just okay. Let's face it, riding highways at 120 kilometers per hour, it could be a lot of fun. But puttering about at 50 k's an hour on a smaller road can be just as much fun, more relaxed and safer, and a great way to spend a week in expedition. Next has to do with how long or how far you'll be touring for. I know longer rides might not be for everyone, especially as we age and maybe we have pre-existing condition, you know, with our health that require us to be near a doctor. But you could still enjoy the road with shorter trips, day trips or weekend getaways. I personally recommend at least once in your life going on a long ride by yourself. My ride around Indonesia has been going on for 6 months now, and yes, it can be tiring at times, but what an amazing journey it's been, and I can definitely scratch that off my bucket list. Kind of related to that last point, if you end up going for an extended period of time, is where and how you're going to sleep. Let's be honest, sometimes a comfortable bed in a cozy guest house sounds a lot more appealing than pitching a tent in the rain. On the other hand, there's nothing quite like waking up to the sound of early morning birds as the sun starts to rise on the horizon and the smell of coffee boiling on a hot campfire. That's something I'll never get tired of. Yes, my camping experience is much different now than it was 20 years ago. I had to adapt and start using gear I've never used before, such as this camping chair or a better air mattress and other little luxuries like that. I guess here it all depends on your taste and, you know, your budget. Again, ride your own ride. Another issue to think about is food. Quite frankly, I hardly ever cook anymore on the road. Usually I'll make myself a coffee in the morning and I'll grab some breakfast on the road after a few hours ride. It gives me a break and it's quite nice. Later in the day, as I'm riding, I'll spot a local roadside food stall and I'll grab some takeaway for dinner. That's the way I do it. I usually eat only when I'm hungry, and sometimes that's only twice a day or even once a day. So while traveling, have fun. Enjoy the local cuisine, but you also have to listen to your body. If some foods don't quite agree with you and make you use the bathroom a bit too much, you know, I recommend you cut that off your diet. So, let's go back to the beginning. How old is too old to tour on a motorcycle? The answer, my friend, is you can ride as long as you've got the spirit. The gas tank is full of gas, and you can remember how to get back home and shift the gears most of the time. As for me, I definitely regret not starting this long-distance touring earlier, when I was invincible and fearless. But still, at 59, I know for a fact that I still have quite a few rides in me, and maybe even some different adventures. And like they say, you don't stop riding when you get old when you stop riding. I hope you enjoyed this chat, and I'd love to hear what you think about this. Yeah? So please don't forget to click like and to subscribe to the channel. Write me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your adventure is. And thank you so much for watching. And remember, life's too short to be stuck in the garage. All right? Get out there. Explore the world. And don't forget to just ride on. Cheers.